where does it
Easements
say
are not
where an
allowed.
easement is allowed? Well,
Well, wouldn't that
13,
be-
13.4
Well,
or something like that. You know what I mean? That's not it. I'm just looking at 13.4. Well, it's in the definition. Okay, we have a definition of an easement, but where does it say we can't have one?
I would say more in the building code than in the zoning code, but
I get,
that's, I really think it belongs in the building code.
Rezoning, and then we, you know, when we're getting towards the end, we'll just.
Because this is about zoning. This isn't about,
So,
somebody could ask, well, why do you have a definition of easement in here if you're not gonna talk about it?
so maybe I should put that in the building code. And we have a definition of easement in there.
you know, it should be.
Is that because we have the definition of frontage in there? Maybe it goes under frontage.
Yeah, how about like on 513,
Yeah,
when you go down to lot frontage width, and then put in there easements are not allowed.
You said 5?
Yeah,
513.
513, you know, that's RS1.
Yeah.
That would be right at the beginning.
Page 22, lot frontage width, and then a note on there, easements are not allowed.
Then would it have to be at the beginning of all the
well,
districts?
Probably,
I think we have to note it in frontage.
Right next to the frontage, yeah.
yeah, lot frontage widths of 75 feet.
So in each district
In each district.
standard? In each district
Yeah, I'll
standard, we have
put
to
that
mention
under the definition, and then when in the standards, in the graph for the standards, I'll put the 75-foot minimum, and then in parentheses, I'll say, see easement. And then they'll be able to refer back, and it says that they wouldn't be allowed. How does that sound? Or I can say, no easement, see definition?
Yeah, I would say
Yeah,
something
no
like
easement,
that.
see
No
definition.
easement, okay.
And would you put that then on every one of those?
Yes.
Okay.
Every graph or every residential graph? Every residential graph,
Yeah, but not commercial.
right.
And the reason probably for not commercial is because you're only allowed a certain amount of driveways before the highway.
Right.
So you'd almost have to have.
So if we wanted
Right.
4 businesses in a row, very similar to the storage unit and the docks, if we want another business to come in there, we'd have to use that frontage road
Right, you'd have
because
to put
we
in
can't
front.
have any more driveways.
Right, well, like with A1 and Lake Country, if they wanted to separate them out,
Can't do it.
you can't do it if you don't have. So,
Right.
or the ranch,
I don't know if I want to,
you know, he wouldn't be able to, cause he's got that other parcel separated from his original parcel,
Right.
and he has no highway driveway. So if he don't have a frontage road there,
Mhm.
he would never be able to use that or sell it off for anything different.
Right.
Well, same with Peterson Movers. See, they're sharing that driveway. And they
And that's
could
on
do
a
that with the-
limited contract though for 2 years.
Yeah, but I mean, someday it's gonna have to be something permanent.
Yeah, he's gonna have to
Right.
figure something out. He just didn't wanna pay for the driveway. I thought he had it okay, he just didn't wanna pay for it.
I don't know, I don't
I'm
know.
pretty sure that's what it
So
was.
you're,
Oh,
that's a
yeah,
whole,
I can't
that's a whole
remember.
nother meeting.
Yeah, so I'd stay away from commercial,
Don't even put it.
don't mess with commercial.
So we're putting verbiage in the definition of easement,
yep,
and then we are mentioning no easement, see definition in each standard,
yep,
except for commercial.
yep. Does that solve that one? Okay,
Does that
so
solve that?
let's go to the next one, land division. That's kinda, isn't that a given? Cause each district has their size requirements through the graphs.
It is, and like,
But that sentence
it's just that
there,
we
Yeah.
had talked about it so many different times but like I said, I think the driveway and the new requirements kind of
take care of
clarify that.
it. Yeah,
So, you know, we talked about it, so I made one. do we have anything, and I don't know, in county, code that they cannot create a landlocked parcel? Because you create a landlocked parcel, then you have to have an easement, because at the state level, they can petition for the necessary easement.
They are not
to
supposed to
landlock.
prove anything that leaves landlocked parcels, correct? Oh, let me look here. I don't know the exact verbiage, but let me see.
I didn't know if it was in a county code
No
or
landlocked
not.
parcels of any size shall be created as a result of surveys that are required to be completed and recorded under the terms of this ordinance.
So that pretty much says no.
No,
Okay, then I don't know if it's necessary.
Well, I like it, and I would like to see it in there. I don't know where it would go, or where we would put it.
that landlocked, you
Yeah.
want to see that in there?
Well, I mean,
Okay.
I
Just
want people to know
clarify
that. I want people to know that,
Well,
Well, they
But
won't
that's
approve
our-
the CSN.
but
we're
that's,
referring to
but
this,
we are referring to
so
the county
we
ordinance.
could put it in the minimum lot size? Do we have that? No, all of them? No.
Yeah, everyone has a minimum lot size,
Well, kind of, but
the commercial.
Minimum lot area.
lot coverage, lot frontage,
Well, if it's gotta have lot frontage, it
well,
can't be a
and it should have lot
landlocked lot.
size. How come this one doesn't? Oh, that's commercial.
It says-
Sorry.
It says minimum lot area.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm in the commercial section. Okay, so,
Division of land cannot.
minimum lot area, 3 acres, 5 acres. And you want me to put no landlocked parcels of any, but that's what they need to build, and this is saying that that's the creation of a lot.
Right, so it's a little bit different.
It's
Yeah,
different.
so maybe there's not a spot,
I don't think there's
there's not a fitting
spot.
spot for it.
Do you have anything about land division
That would be,
section and
that
all?
would, we don't. That's
No,
what we
it
were
just says see
talking about.
land division ordinance, which is the county, but I should, instead of saying see land division ordinance, I should say see county land division ordinance,
Well, and it, on
number 701.
On 17, under the definitions, you do have see Wood County Land Division Ordinance and Saratoga Land Division.
Okay, that's under where? I don't have the new one.
17, oh, that's under, this is your definitions of it. No, that is not. This is under,
Subdivision.
maybe I'm under a wrong heading. Hold on. What heading am I under?
I got a new one on my list. Boy, you guys are tearing this apart
I
already.
don't know where that was.
Always, I almost screwed up again, Dan. I found another spelling error, but we already been through that. We looked up the definition of that, and that's what it's supposed to be. I don't know how to say it.
Where's
Oh,
that?
yeah.
What page is that on?
77.
Oh, that,
On the new one?
Saratoria or something like that? I think that's in the appeals.
You know, want to know what that means?
Nah, we already been through that.
Oh, okay.
I think we spent 15 minutes trying to figure it out.
Oh, I can tell you what it means.
would it, just
just-
throwing it out there, would it fit as just a statement under the non-conforming lot? Just saying that
That might be.
it, you know, that they all have to meet the
Right.
requirements and no land subdivision shall create landlocked parcels. You know, and whatever. That's way in the back on page 89, I'm just under non-conforming, because we have listed limitations, discontinuance.
Non-conforming uses.
What page? The new one?
89. Would that be an appropriate
Yeah.
place?
20.4. That would, I mean, a landlocked parcel would be a non-conforming lot for sure.
And it would just clarify that we would not allow it.
Right.
Page 89.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it'll be 20.4.3.
Yep.
And what are we writing? What was in
The
here?
land division on
Okay.
Christie's page here. divisional land parcels in all township districts must meet the required size and zoning specific requirements of said district. No land subdivision shall create landlocked parcels or rely on easements to access any given parcel created.
There was a shorter sentence in here, what was it?
No landlocked.
There it is,
No
landlocked,
landlocking.
7018. I would rather use short and sweet. No landlocked parcels of any size shall be created as a result of surveys that are required to be completed and recorded under the terms of the Wood County Land Division Ordinance. How's that?
That sounds just as long as what I said, but
Yeah.
it sounds good.
Sounds more professional.
Yeah, sounds more
more
professional.
professional, yeah.
Less, same amount of words, but more.
Okay.
Got to the point. A bigger point.
That's how much we miss Adam. He listens to
Right.
us and then just writes stuff down.
Right.
Until he sees these.
Yeah. Well, we just word
won't-
stuff.
He won't miss another one, will he?
No, he won't.
Which brings me to something you're not gonna wanna hear. So, when I was typing this, I found out that the secretary of the planning commission are the ones that's supposed to print the minutes, do the agendas, type up the minutes, and that's been done by the deputy clerk.
Okay.
Yeah, secretary.
We got one.
Yeah, but
He's
our
coaching
secretary,
baseball right now.
Well, no, that.
but I did
he's
talk,
just doing
now,
minutes,
so,
that is-
I gotta
No,
tell you, I
he's
did talk to Paulette, at this time, we're gonna leave it as that, because the stipend for being a plan commission member is not much.
Right.
And that, the work that's entailed in doing that is a little more, inclusive. I mean, there's a lot of printing and a lot of gathering and all this kind of stuff. So, we have something in the works now that will solve that, but I think we'll leave it where it is. But I do want you to know it's in here. I mean, it's in there.
Well, that's what Tom and I used to do.
I know,
I can use it
I
as,
know.
I'll use it as leverage.
It was changed when Sarah Jane was here.
Oh, cause Tom did it.
Yeah. Okay. So, can I say what my suggestion was?
Yes.
All right, so this has all been typed, and it's now, I want you guys to look at it, but the way I want you to look at it is I want everybody, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think if you each
7.
took, if you each took like 3 chapters, and you had like 1 through 3, 4 through 7, like that, it would be easier than each one of you go through each single page. Because the last couple chapters, I took some liberties because it's kind of out of order compared to the other chapters. So I put it in order. Everything's there, it's just in a different order. So when you look at it, read the whole thing before you start saying, oh, that's not here, oh, that's not here. It's there. So
So Josh, you wanna give us one?
Well, I was,
that was my suggestion.
that was a suggestion Lorelei had, and I agreed with it. I wanted to ask you guys how we wanted to divide it up. Like, do we want each one to do, say, 3? There's 23 sections. Some are bigger than others. And there's 7 of us. I mean, that's what, 3?
3.
Yeah, I
The
was.
3's only
3 and 2
21.
left over.
Yeah,
Okay. So do we want to each take 3 and
Are you
focus on those?
talking, take it home for the month, go over the
Yes.
3? You're not sitting like,
right.
No,
Sit
not
there
right-
for
not
3
today.
hours.
because I would probably go through more than I ever, like, you can assign me some
Like-
to be responsible for.
Yeah.
I'll
Like 1
probably
to
go through
3,
them.
3 to 6, 6 to 9.
I want the easy ones.
Well, how can he have 3 to 6 and I have 6 to 9? 3 to 6,
Well, it was just
7
hypothetical.
to 10.
Well, you know what I mean.
You
I
know,
was doing the math.
1, 2, 3.
It's getting
4,
late.
5, 6
Yes.
for me.
I have 7, 8, 9.
4, 5.
So is that how we want to do it?
Yeah.
That is fine.
So,
I'll look at the whole thing.
Patty's got 1, 2, 3.
yep,
Yep.
I got
Jim
4, 5,
has
6.
4, 5, 6. Christy has 7, 8, 9. Rob has 10, 11, 12.
Okay, what do you mean? 1, 2, 3.
The
Go on
check-
the contents.
Oh, here?
Go on the
Oh,
contents.
1, 2, 3.
Yep.
The section 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Okay, Rob
Got
has
it.
what
Rob.
though?
10,
Rob.
11, 12.
And then Josh has 13, 14, 15. Dan, 16, 17, 18. Angie, 19, 20, and 21. And then 22 and 23 would be for Adam.
23, well, let's go to.
I wanna see how long 22 and 23.
Not very.
2
Usually
pages.
12.
Or you wanna go by pages?
5 subtitles.
Yeah, I guess you could go by pages, but that might be.
No, we've already got this established. I think
Yes.
we're gonna go with this.
Let's just go with that.
Yep.
We're good.
There's a couple of sections.
And just compare them to the old one, and if you find
And-
mistakes or.
Yes, we're looking for spelling,
Verbiage, if
yeah,
I misinterpreted something that you, because there was a lot of inso for much, which could be substituted as,
It's gotta be understandable.
yeah. And the other thing is it has to go to a public hearing. I didn't want to take it to a public hearing because I thought if we just did minor changes, we wouldn't have to, but we added verbiage. So I talked to the attorney at the Wisconsin Towns Association yesterday, and it does have to go to a public hearing. So as soon as we get it in some kind of form, I have to, my next step is to get the mapping correct, because if we did any zoning changes, I have to correct the map, and then that has to be submitted with this.
Alright, so the sections of the zoning ordinance will be reviewed between now and the next meeting, and we will, those insertions that we had today, with easement and land division, all that will be in the next one, right?
Right. And I might not be here. So.
July 9th.
And can you send me the electronic version and I
yeah.
can print them off and have them all?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be working from home. I'm having heart surgery on the 30th of this month, so I'll be off for a little bit. Chase is taking over for me, so I'm sure, and his sidekicks will take
Yeah,
over.
we'll do what
So-
we can do, so.
Okay. So we can move on from the
Yep. Last thing, the last thing.
finalize? Okay. Information and announcements from PC members. Adam doesn't have anything. Angie, you got anything? Nothing?
Nothing.
Dan?
No, I was just concerned about what we had did with Zerflu and his trailers.
He sold them.
They're gone.
He got rid of them, huh?
Yep, he sold them.
Whatever.
Went to the board. The board said that he could cover the verbiage, or he could register his other business there, and he didn't want to do that, so.
I was just thinking because they're not on premises 24/7, you know, so what's the difference between that and the guy across the street with the truck with the name on the side of the truck? Sits there all the time,
Up on the hill, yeah, up that one.
you know, so it's, but.
Who are we talking about?
For,
Kuhn, is
Schmoot.
it Kuhn's
Kunis?
chair, or that truck that he has, that little box truck?
It sits on the hill.
He
in the corner.
keeps
service
it
call
parked
vehicle.
on the hill on the corner.
Two service call
Yeah,
vehicles.
they actually, yeah.
Oh,
If
got
you
a
have
couple
them in the
service
parking
trucks.
lot next to the building.
Well,
that would-
those-
But that's their property.
that's
That's their business.
that's their business
See,
vehicle.
Zerflu's
Like
realtor-
Kellner.
Yeah.
Kellner too, he has his truck sitting outside too, but
Yeah.
those are their vehicles they use every day for.
but
work.
he could use that every day too. He could hook it on a pickup truck.
But
and
he's
take
not
it away
advertising-
And bringing it back and setting it there.
It's not
But that's
advertising
not his
purple.
business there. That's not owned
That's
by
not-
Zerflu.
That's, well, it's
That's-
owned by Zerflu.
No,
but it's-
that's owned by another
Well,
company
Perco,
that he
A
calls it.
sub-company, whatever,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So,
thought he had Perco on the side of the,
no,
No.
it says
Zerflu
Zerflu Realty. That was my main gripe.
It says Zerflu Realty.
you know, smooth now anyway, so.
Now he,
Yeah, they're-
yeah, he came in, told me he sold it for $3,000, took a loss. Yeah, I got it all.
Or my
You didn't have to.
Poor
sell
Mike,
it, you
yeah.
guys. Could have held out for more.
I'd have given him $3,000 for one.
Alright, I got nothing except for what we're gonna talk about next.
Oh. What is it?
Item number 10 is town sign usage, but, Rob, you got anything?
I got a question, real back a ways, you
I
were
don't
talking
have
about
that
the solar.
Yeah, it's a revised,
Okay.
revised,
Oh,
agenda.
Lorelei, you were talking about the solar
Yes.
that Roman's gonna have, it's gonna border our township. It's gonna come right up to County Line Road, or in
No.
that area.
No,
It's gonna come
it's,
to Akron.
it's past Akron.
Okay.
It's, 3 inaccessible parcels. But 2 of them are gonna have a transmission line on only, that's gonna be leased, and the 3rd one is gonna be sold to the entity, and it's going to have a, what are we calling that? Switch yard station.
Yard. But you mentioned that they wanna do something for our town, and
Yes.
you mentioned that paving Adams Avenue, which is that's the furthest south
Yes,
piece of gravel road we have that
Yes.
goes back to what, 2 houses?
it goes back to 2,
Maybe
but
3 on
that's,
our township.
they need that to access their property. That's why I'm asking for that.
But we're paving that for them to access.
We are
right?
not.
Well,
They are.
She's asking
they're
them to.
paving it, why don't they pave 10 Mile Avenue?
Because they don't need 10 Mile Avenue. They need
Well,
Adams Avenue.
But we need that paved more than we need.
Right.
I
Adams
can't
Avenue
ask them
paved.
to
We
do
don't
something
need
that they don't
Adams.
need to utilize, and they don't have to do this.
They
I'm,
don't have to
I'm-
pave it.
no, I'm asking them as a gesture of goodwill.
They're
to-
paving your driveway.
Yeah, they don't
They
have, yeah. And if they say no to that, then I'm gonna ask them to put solar on the Saratoga Town Hall. And if they don't wanna do that, then I'm gonna ask them to put 4 signs, 1 on each entrance to the town of Saratoga. I have a list. Whatever.
Well, Lorelai's trying to say is, as much as we want 10 Mile Avenue paved instead of Adams, it doesn't benefit them, so they're gonna say no.
Yeah,
Or Adams
Yeah.
Avenue would be like, okay, yeah.
yeah,
gotta-
we need to access that, and that bumpy road for our equipment going up and down is gonna be a pain in the butt. And, you know, it's a benefit to them. The problem is that we have to find a way to get 240s to them, because I haven't looked at our map yet. We might have that as a potential road at the end. You might know that, Dan. Were we?
Full way to the west of
Yeah.
Adams Avenue.
Yeah. Were we gonna take that to anywhere?
And no,
Doug thought we were. Doug thought it was on the map as a proposed road. If it's a proposed road in Saratoga, it's less problematic. But if it's not a proposed road to go that far, then that means they have to buy some land and acquire it and all kinds of good stuff.
Where is Adams Avenue?
It's the
County
county
line.
line, they call it. A lot,
Down off
it's
of-
before
Yeah.
Akron, yeah.
off of 13.
Where the county road starts.
See, they don't want to use, they can use Akron and then come back through another piece of their property. The problem with that is Akron is a brand-new road. They just redid that road last year, so
Isn't
they,
Akron the one with the shooting range on it?
yep,
So Adams is the one after the curve?
Yes,
Right at-
just after the curve.
Just after
Yep.
the curve?
There's a big tower.
Yep.
There's a
Okay.
big cell tower
Yep.
right there.
Okay.
Alright.
The switch station or whatever, that actually is assessed.
yes. And we talked to Akron yesterday, and our attorney and their people, our people talked to their people, and it's going along good. I wanted the battery storage as far away from Saratoga as we could get it, and it's.
When I say the assessor, I mean, it
Yes.
has a value, it's not,
Yes, it does,
tax-free.
definitely, right,
yes,
Right.
because that one over by you,
yep,
the new one, I mean, all of a sudden it came on the tax
She doesn't
roll.
even
Yeah.
want to listen to what I was saying.
the,
Neither does Lorelai.
of course, Rome does not want them, so Rome is refusing to answer any of their letters or,
No, we're not.
so I'm not sure how that's gonna turn out, but,
The solar,
yeah. But working with us has been fine so far. In Will County.
Rob, anything else?
No, that's all.
I thought you said you had more.
No.
Okay. Christie?
No, I just probably received the same call as everybody else regarding number 10, so I'll save that for that.
Okay.
I'm good.
Nope.
Ready? Anything? Alright, so item number 10, town sign usage.
Do you need me for this?
If No, I don't think so.
Do you want me to stay?
You can stay if you'd like. If you wanna get going, you're more than welcome.
I'm sitting.
Alright, so the sign was erected and was used, solely for town purposes. We either thought about ourselves as a town or were contacted by, outside people on what we could use the sign for, maybe area events or whatever. We contacted, before we went anywhere with it, we contacted legal counsel, and we were advised not to sell time. But suggested it could be considered, we could consider using it for community events. After we got that information, we, as a town, came up with this, sign policy. So we had a policy to follow regarding the use of this sign and what would be considered, available on the sign.
Sure.
We narrowed it down to nonprofits, so we weren't advertising for businesses or for profits. Part of this policy also states that, town information would take priority over any outside events, community events or whatever. Town information takes priority. That's what it says in the, now the last sentence is, Town of Saratoga reserves the right to periodically review and make changes to these rules. There is a limit of 6 messages per viewing, and the Town of Saratoga messages have priority viewing. So, there are 6 spots on our sign. Those spots are all full with town information right now, and it is a total of 45 seconds. From beginning all the way through the 6th to the beginning of number 1 again. That 45 seconds of town sign has cost me personally 11 calls for 49 minutes in the last 3 weeks. Because a nonprofit has requested information be put on the sign and doesn't feel that this information on the sign right now, the town information on the sign, is more important than what they requested. I believe the request now has expired. The event that they wanted on there, I think, is done now. But that doesn't mean that another event isn't going to come up in the future. Mm-hmm. So, that being said, I know I've got several calls. I know there's other people on the board that have got several calls. You've probably gotten some. Legal counsel said that we should that we can't sell time, but we could consider setting guidelines to the message board, which we have in the sign policy. It could be used for display of public notices, inform citizens of upcoming community events, as long as there's some parameters, and we came up with that with the sign policy again. So I guess I know what's on the sign right now. It's all town information. Is it necessary town information that needs to be on a sign? That's up to who you talk to. According to the phone calls I get, no, it's not. But there is, there's information on there regarding DNR burning permits. Wildfires are very important in this community. It's important to me. I want it to stay up there. There was dog license renewal on there, and that's also important. But I don't know the permit that was, or the policy request or sign use request. I don't know how it was worded or when it was turned in. But they basically asked for a week of 10 seconds on our sign, and they didn't get it, and now they're upset. And frankly, so am I, because it wasn't a major ask of the nonprofit, but it didn't happen. And now they wanna know why. Why did we make a policy if we're not gonna use it anymore? So, I guess I wanna know where we should go forward or what. I mean, do we just get rid of the sign, or I don't know what to do.
Are we gonna have a argument with nonprofits in the future of who should be on the sign?
Well, right now, there's 6 things on the sign, they're all town, I mean, there's one for 5 seconds is welcome to Saratoga. There's 10 seconds of information regarding garbage and recycling maps. There's spring wildfire danger for 10 seconds, DNR, contact the DNR.gov for burning permits for 10 seconds. Plan commission meeting, which is today, for 5 seconds, and a town board meeting next week, Wednesday, for 5 seconds.
As far as I'm concerned, it's our sign.
Yes, but that sign was not erected 100%
Oh, yeah.
with town funds. It was, what,
Oh, no, I thought you finished.
it was, I don't know what the percentages were.
It was $40,000 and we got 20,000 from
I was gonna say,
solar.
I thought it was half. of
So solar paid for half, and then we paid for the rest, correct? So, yes, it's a town sign.
You didn't say anything that I don't think shouldn't be on the sign.
Is
Can I add?
the number of units maxed out?
I don't know that the number of units on the software is maxed out, but on our sign policy, it says there is a limit of 6 messages per view.
Okay.
So we established no more than 6.
And if
Because
you-
to have 15 up there, I mean, when you drive by, you can only see 2 anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you catch a 5-second one and 2 10-second ones. You'll cross the center line or drive off the road if you're looking for more than that. Believe me.
So the meetings that are put on there, how long are those on there?
What's
for?
that?
So like our meeting and next week's meeting.
5 seconds.
But like how long do they stay? Are they like the week before the meeting, the week,
Well, and
like
that's
the whole
that's
month?
what-
was my question.
That's what I want to know. The plan commission meeting that's up there for today and the town board meeting for next week have been the 2nd and 3rd Wednesday of the month for however many years.
Well, but like
Could
does that
we
only
have-
have to be up there for like the week before the meeting? So like it would have ran from like last Wednesday to today, and then you'd have that available space.
I guess my question was, because it's been the 2nd Wednesday of the month forever, could we have taken that off of there and put weekly up there for
A week.
A week.
a week and then take it back off?
And
That's my question.
that is exactly where I would like to go with this. I absolutely think that sign should be utilized for our community groups that have a special event and want to advertise it. I have not heard any grumbling or complaint that we have gotten too many requests. So when one does come in, do I think we need to be a little bit flexible and maybe take the dog licensing off for a week?
That one was
Or-
fun.
What, regardless of which one comes off,
Yeah.
do I think we should be
100%
flexible and take one off?
Yeah.
Take one off.
Who changes it? Is it hard to change?
No, but it
What I
was,
have heard, it was. I mean, you said you didn't want nothing to do with it, but you'll do it.
I said I
And
didn't know how to
Chase-
do it. I didn't say I didn't want nothing to do with it. I said if it came down to it, I would take
Learn
it
it.
over and run it
Chase said it
myself.
took him 45 minutes just to get into the thing.
Right, and I know that when we first got it, it was
Cumbersome.
very cumbersome. I mean, I remember helping Paulette set it up one day because the time was in
couldn't
military
get the
time
time.
and instead of,
yeah, it took us a week.
But the
to do
tweaks
that.
have been made, so now it's
I-
not difficult.
We got a new computer and, it's easier, yeah.
we get a lot of phone calls for garbage and recycling.
That has to stay, yeah. The reason the dogs were on there, and they had to stay is because they're due by March 31st, that's the law.
But they're due every
But
year.
They are, but what happens here in Saratoga is quite unique. By state statute, we have to go after them. That's the law. So Billy Joel sends a letter, then she
Yep.
makes phone calls, and then she sends another letter. And the last cutoff was Monday, so that's why it came off Monday. Now it gets turned over to Brandon to set citations. We have 44 citations they gotta send out, but regardless.
And the complaint that I heard was the deadline for dog licenses was March 31st. We're now at the first week of June. Can that come off of there?
Mm-hmm.
And it is now off.
Well, and who's
It is
driving
on.
by and, I mean, go to the website.
Well,
You know, who's driving by to get that information?
everybody that
you
has
know,
a
when you
dog
look at
knows
but
it
yeah,
was supposed to be registered, that has not been on the sign for all the years prior to this one.
I don't disagree that everything on that sign right now is useful information, useful town information. Tomorrow, who could take the plan commission meeting spot?
Yeah.
Could a nonprofit had taken the plan commission spot before? Or the first 5 seconds, welcome to Saratoga. Welcome to the town of Saratoga.
You know where your sign says Saratoga.
Could, the sign says it, the flag says it. I'm not saying any of this stuff shouldn't be on there, but could we have taken one off for a week? I think so.
Yeah.
I just,
It's only a week, it's not like
I
forever.
agree. It should.
I'm just
For that.
flabbergasted
Maybe
that we
just-
even had this issue happen.
Pick like maybe welcome to Saratoga, that be the spot that's available on,
maybe that's
upon
it.
request.
And maybe we only give them 5 seconds. I don't know. There's 45 seconds up there right now. Garbage and recycling and wildfire prevention is 30 seconds of that 45. The rest is 2 meetings and welcome to town of Saratoga.
Well, and this meeting wouldn't have to be on there for 3 more weeks.
Right.
And that's what I mean. I mean, starting tomorrow, we have a spot open for 2 weeks.
But if the request comes in, the,
What's that?
I said, isn't that why we got the sign? To tell people when our board meetings were and our plan
Yes.
commission meetings were?
but I'm saying
So
that,
we can-
yeah, I
we can
agree.
always do it.
But if the request comes in 8 days before our plan commission meeting, do we take plan commission off and put it on? Or is the plan commission priority? That's why I say, I think maybe using Saratoga as the
Right.
prime
Welcome to Saratoga.
vacant spot
Like whenever we don't have a request, welcome to the town of
is
Saratoga is on
there.
there.
Yeah. And if the request comes in, no matter when in the month, that goes off for that week.
And if there's something else that can come off to give them more time, then we do it, or,
Yes, right.
You know,
Be
and
a little
just-
more flexible that way, but have one
One
specific that's always out.
Yeah.
I have a question. So this came up at the Wisconsin Towns Association, and so I'm gonna play a devil's advocate here. Another municipality got a sign, and they opened it up to the nonprofits. Guess which nonprofits want to go on there all the time?
probably churches.
Nope.
What?
Babies, abortion,
Yeah.
Trump, Biden, they're nonprofits.
They're all-
And
But
we
that's-
did not,
But we,
Required in town of Saratoga. I
okay,
believe.
but they're in the town. There's people out there in the town that want to do this. I'm just saying that that's what the Wisconsin Towns Association had a whole meeting on it.
I noticed Port Edwards doesn't do anything else either.
No,
Just
neither
thinking
does
of it.
Pittsville.
but I think we have a statement in there that it's at our discretion.
It is.
And
All submissions.
So
yeah.
then why do we all get all these phone calls? If it's
This
at
was-
our discretion.
Because
this
our-
was, on this particular one, I believe, I think they were all the same person calling.
No, there were two.
Okay.
So,
But that was written specifically because of Wiggly.
Yeah, that was what written for with.
that was the only request we got?
But I
So that's
say
the only
that,
one that knows about it.
that stuff was,
Right.
I mean, they're the ones that approached and we said, well, we gotta have some guidelines, and that's what we came up with. And it was pretty much written specifically for Wakely.
And So devil's advocate.
Yeah.
We have content that promotes, fosters, or perpetuates discrimination based on race, creed, color, age, religion, gender, marital status, national origin, physical or mental disability, gender identity, sexual orientation. Can we add political?
Political? I don't know.
You did?
No, that's pretty good. That pretty much says what you want.
So I think we should put
I
political.
think you should put political.
I
I think we
agree.
should, I think we could add political.
Political
I like
and
that.
religious.
And I like that.
Well,
I like your
religion's on,
suggestion,
is it?
Dan. That's the
Yeah,
slot.
that's
We use
discrimination.
that
Right,
slot.
and then we never have to worry, I
Yeah.
mean, we got 5 spots for town,
Yeah.
for
That's a good
important
idea.
town information.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean
And
that you can't advertise political.
And I asked-
You can't discriminate against.
I asked our clerk, I said, is 6 the
You'll see
limit
some legal fights.
to the number we can have in
Yes.
our loop? And she's like, I'm not sure, but 6 is the number that you guys came up with.
6 is the number that was given to us by the sign manufacturer due to the speed limit out here and how fast you can read that sign. That's
Okay.
how they came up with 6.
You can read it twice going that way and coming home from work, you can read the other 2 times. But now, is there gonna
Well, what
be
about
a
the
time
mailbox?
frame?
Welcome.
What's that?
What
What
about
about
the
time frame? Can they just keep being redundant and keep applying for
The
that?
mailbox
And
is
then-
Did we
metal
have that
post,
on there?
What's that?
How often they can apply?
6 times a year?
Request
Because it
from
has- it has-
501c3 entity will be received 1 week prior, no more than 2 weeks. For advertising on the sign, when it approved, it will be for 1 week. Only appropriate messages will be allowed, so it doesn't
So he
say.
could do, they could do it every 2 weeks, come back.
But they have to have an event.
Yeah.
Because
And it's
you can't
also-
just,
But
you're
they
not
could-
just advertising
Yeah,
your
yeah,
group.
yeah.
Are you
have to
saying
be
that, or is that
advertising
in
your
there?
Months
event.
earlier,
Well,
just
that's
keep
what
going
that-
over, and I don't know if that's
Does it
right.
say that in there?
That
It
you're
does not
advertising
say
an
how many
event?
times a year you
How about
can.
event?
No, but does it say you're specifically advertising an event?
Per
I thought it
event,
said
we need to
per
maybe
event
put
or something.
For advertising on the sign when approved.
Okay, so I think we'd have to address how many times a year.
Oh. If your post violates any of the rules below, it will be deleted. One of the rules is content that is political in nature.
There you go. We already got
So
it.
that's already there.
Okay. All right.
Now, what was the other question? Let me
Well,
see if I
the
can find
question
it.
was,
How
could
many
somebody just keep re-upping, but they're not actually
It should
advertising
be
an event?
1 time per event.
Well, what if they have something going on every weekend? Are they gonna,
I think we got a little bit, how many times a year? We all realize that we made this for Wakely. And so Wakely is the only one who knows about it. So
Right now.
how
Right
many?
now, but I think we should.
and Wakely's the only one that's asked for it, and Wakely's the only one we haven't allowed on it.
Well, sorry,
At the
that
end
comes
of that
back on me
first
because
Well, and
I
it-
think town government is more important
And
than.
that's why we're
Wakely.
talking about it, because
Yeah.
I wanna have an answer for them when they
Sure.
call and say, why wasn't I on the sign?
So I think we gotta figure out though how many
Right here.
times a year. I like the idea of using the Welcome to Saratoga slot.
Yep,
That's the slot.
So can you just add
Then we-
after only appropriate messages will be allowed, and then like up to however many requests per year?
And do we want to put in there, they must advertise specific events? So it's not just somebody trying to advertise.
I
don't know.
I don't know.
Where's it in?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but what would they do? Just put up Wakely?
Well, that's what I
Then
mean.
you
Well,
can
they
somebody
have
had said-
Wakely Old Days, they
somebody
have
had said
Wakely.
They, what if they just
Yeah,
come
Pioneer
back every
Days.
They
week?
probably have 6 events over
So
I know they have
then make it
months.
6 times a year.
They got
I know
something
they have
going
the one
on.
on the Wakely was on the Domtar sign for
Yes,
weeks.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
It was
what
on the downtown sign, it was at the end of the bridge, it's at the end of the road, it's on their road.
Right.
I mean, and it's down here, so, yeah.
And again, I'm gonna keep saying this because I want to make sure that everybody's aware that I believe Saratoga's information is crucial to have on that sign.
Yep.
It's right in front of the town hall. It should have town stuff
That's
on
why
it.
the sign is there,
It
right.
should have town stuff on it. I also don't know why we can't put Wakely's stuff on our sign when Domtar puts it on theirs. Like that was almost a.
But what else does
Slap in the
Domtar
face.
put
Yeah,
on there?
their wage
Blood
and
drive
Yeah.
for this weekend,
Yep.
or last weekend.
They
At
put
the
on.
high school, and they got
They put on a bunch
all
of
kinds of stuff. I mean, they got more than 6 units on their sign.
Right.
But they're not a government entity.
Right, they can do whatever they want.
They're
Right.
private entity.
They're also pretty slow, cause you try to read that when you go through there once, when they get blood dried, but where, cause you're already past it.
So again, how many times a
So,
year?
Up
And
to
how-
six, up to 6 times a year.
Six
I
times a
think.
year
Up to
for
6 times a
events? Events,
Will that fit right here?
events up to
So
6 times a
6
year.
events a year.
6 events a
Six
year.
events, yeah.
That's pretty,
Events.
pretty lenient, I would
And you're putting that in the second paragraph of the LED sign policy,
Okay,
right? Just adding
Okay.
on to the second paragraph of the LED
Okay.
sign policy.
and I'll take the heat for this one because Paulette did ask me what to do and I said, our stuff is more important than Wakely's. Wakely's got signs all over the place. That sign was put up there for the town.
In the road right away, by the way.
What?
I don't care where they put them, but,
Oh, the Wakely sign.
yeah.
But
I was gonna say, our sign is not the right of way.
So this one is on me, but I like Dan's suggestion.
I do
That's one
too.
thing that we could put it.
That was
That's
the
a good slot.
resolution that I wanted to
That's a
come
good
up with
slot.
tonight. So I could have
live
an
with
answer.
that.
Cause that's always been up there.
Yeah.
And
All right, second paragraph, it's gonna say 6 events per year.
Yep, and
Maximum.
we already have political, can't have
Yeah.
political.
And it will go in the welcome, can I put in there, 5-second time slot into the welcome? Because it always says, welcome to Saratoga.
I think. it's
Because
just
once
gonna be
that
a-
slot is filled, then, somebody else comes in. But if
Well,
there's,
it's only gonna be there for a week. So if somebody comes in, brings a request, they're like, well, no, you're booked, we're booked until the 14th,
okay,
or something like that, you know what I
And
mean?
if there's nothing else that we're advertising and we have spots
Let it go.
open,
oh, that's,
put it in a different spot. You know, the
Yeah.
dog
Okay.
licensing can
Yeah.
come on.
Plan commission's coming off tomorrow,
yeah, but the other one's going on.
but it would. I
Then
don't
we're
know.
gonna have a public hearing. I mean,
Yeah, that's-
there's gonna be things coming up,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
that's good. I got direction, I'm happy with this.
So Mike, do we have it on the agenda? Do
Can
we-
you give me a recommendation to the board, please?
Sure. I wanna entertain a motion to, so can we just update the sign policy?
Yep, update the sign policy, I'll
Update
know
the sign
exactly,
policy for, 6
events per year.
events per year,
And the
and.
5-second spot.
And the first 5-second spot to be, I don't wanna say reserved,
You get
but
designated community use. or
Oh, yeah, there you
designated
go.
Community announcement.
perfect,
Designated for community announcement. That sounds good.
community announcements.
if it starts getting abused, then we have to
Well, and we,
reassess it.
I think
But
it's,
don't think it's
I
gonna
think we
be-
gotta make it so that other people know about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
well, I think if enough people, if the Boy Scout troop drives by and sees Wakely's up there, maybe they'll call us.
But I'm gonna be point blank honest. If I start getting badgered by phone calls from 2 individuals again like that, I will be calling somebody. That is unnecessary.
I don't disagree that there were more calls than needed to be done, but I also understand their frustration that they went through the channels the way they were told to do it and they still didn't get anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, call me once. I'm good. I got yours. I can hear it the first time. Especially at 8:20 at night.
And maybe, they should be informed that the town is really pissed off.
I think I can say that honestly on the town board meeting.
Because
It- My personal life
I've
is my
been, I've
personal
been
life.
there. There's no reason to take the abuse. No, I've been on that end.
Yeah.
So has anybody made that motion or
I thought
I?
you did,
can I?
certainly.
Can I? Alright. You have a motion, Earl?
I do.
There you go.
I
She's
said,
good.
it says the plan commission updated the town electronic sign utilization policy to add 6 events per year for community announcements.
I'll second it.
I'll make that motion,
Okay.
that recommendation to the board, and Dan seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Can I have something added, designated the first, 5
Oh.
minutes,
5 seconds.
Yeah, the
5
first,
seconds.
If I,
Yeah,
first,
5 seconds.
First time slot?
First 5 seconds designated for community events, or
Announcements,
Yeah.
messaging or whatever.
community
Does it
events
have to-
messaging.
Do we have to say in there that it's six slots per,
that's
Five
not,
oh
that's
one.
already in
Just be
our,
in the update.
that's already in our policy.
okay, per 501 group?
We have that, part of the motion was 6 events per year.
Yeah,
By a specific group or
Nonprofit.
just 6?
it's just gonna be added to the second paragraph, which is already,
Well, and I guess it's at your discretion. If you
Right.
want to put something in, you know, that doesn't meet.
Yeah, we're talking 6
Your
weeks,
time, yeah.
we're talking 6 weeks a year.
Okay.
Per group.
Right.
Right.
how do we get it,
If they all came to us at once.
how do we get it out there that we will allow that now?
I think
you
just
do.
using this,
Use
I
it.
think
Use it.
just putting it up there
Yeah,
would
I
spread
don't
it.
think you make it a big announcement.
I don't think we need to advertise it.
You know,
I think people start seeing it and then they'll be like, hey,
yeah.
As many headaches as
Okay.
we've had already, I don't think. we need to
Well,
advertise
you
it.
know, it's new, that's how it goes. That's
And Saratoga EMS,
when they have
Saratoga
events.
UTV.
Yeah.
Anybody, if it's a nonprofit in town and the event
Yeah.
is, it does specify that the event has to be in town.
Yeah, has to
So-
be a resident of it.
So,
Yeah.
you know, we can't say Kellner's having a rock fry, you know?
Now, steak feed, that might be different.
So, all right, that was all for our agenda, right? Next meeting will be July 9th at 6 PM. On that agenda so far, we have, is that WISE?
Yeah,
Um,
do you wanna know the background on that? The lady across the street, I don't remember her name,
Helen,
Helen, wants to, sell her grandson an acre of her land to build a house and to have a
I don't think Tate is a grandson.
private
I
business.
think it's his son.
Think it's a son? Okay, could be.
I don't remember what the kids' names
think it's
were,
a-
you
I
got
think
twins,
it's a son,
so I don't
yeah.
remember what
Tate's
the other
son.
one's name was.
So-
It would
But
have to
Helen's
be-
land is commercial and he wants to use it for
I was gonna
residential.
say, they'd have to have the easement, the commercial easement on the highway, they wouldn't be able to get in their driveway in.
See, that goes way back to her first husband wanted to, cause they were separated or something, he wanted a piece of property in the back. And they wouldn't give him a driveway.
Yeah, whether or not.
He had the land, everything was there, he's got access on the highway. But they wouldn't put him a driveway. And
So that might be a problem then.
and then they wouldn't, use,
Yeah.
an easement to get to the property through her driveway.
Our first one with the easement.
You are.
But
So,
this is
no,
way
did you say
back.
he was
Put in a.
doing a business for commercial use or did
No,
you say how?
it's a whole, it's a
It'd be a
home-based
residential,
business.
So that ain't really commercial though.
I don't know what that would be considered.
It's a residential with a home-based business, that's what it is. But if he can't get a driveway, it's a mute point.
Seeing that if she wants to divide off a piece of property, it's gonna have to go through the county
Yep.
Right.
and us. So
He's gonna,
where's the access coming from?
there you go. He's gonna have to have access.
So are we having that on our agenda or?
Yeah,
Well,
it'll be there.
So, yeah,
When I
Kate
call,
Weiss.
when I call him tomorrow, I'll let him know that, you know, before we can
So-
move forward.
today is number 5 and today is number 6 would be on our July agenda.
So
So is that Donahue's, that one that goes
Yeah,
back there?
Helen Don.
Yeah.
Also on our next agenda would be the zoning ordinance for 2025.
Okay.
If there is nothing else, I will take time cards and entertain Dan's motion. Dan's motion.
You guys will be updating these minutes because Adam.
Adam's not here.
No, but
Adam
he's
will
gonna
never
do
miss-
these minutes. and
Adam
then
will
he can-
never miss another meeting
He will
and,
never let his
Due to his
mother-in-law,
mother-in-law.
let his mother-in-law do them, yeah.
and tell him that if he has any questions, he can,
2 more zeros.
watch the recording.
Oh, there you go.
Um,
This is going live.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. All right, we got a motion by Dan,
I'll second it.
second by Patty
Yeah.
to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.